My name is Alina Brooks. I'm 36 years old, and the night I lost everything was the same night I finally saw the truth. Not the kind of truth that hits you all at once. No, this one crept in slow, like a crack in glass you don't notice until the whole thing shatters in your hands. Before I take you there, yeah, I know how this goes. Hit like, subscribe, drop a comment, tell me where you're watching from. I read every single one. All right, let me take you back. It was a Thursday, late October, cold enough that your breath hangs in the air, but not cold enough to justify how empty I felt. The email came in at 10:12 a.m. Position eliminated. Just like that. No build-up, no warning, no appreciation for the 11 years I gave that company. No thank you for staying late, no you held us together during layoffs, no you trained half this team. Just eliminated. I stared at the screen for a full minute, then two. Then, my name is Alina Brooks. I'm 36 years old, and the night I lost everything was the same night I finally saw the truth. Not the kind of truth that hits you all at once. No, this one crept in slow, like a crack in glass you don't notice until the whole thing shatters in your hands. Before I take you there, yeah, I know how this goes. Hit like, subscribe, drop a comment, tell me where you're watching from. I read every single one. All right, let me take you back. It was a Thursday, late October, cold enough that your breath hangs in the air, but not cold enough to justify how empty I felt. The email came in at 10:12 a.m. Position eliminated. Just like that. No build-up, no warning, no appreciation for the 11 years I gave that company. No thank you for staying late, no you held us together during layoffs, no you trained half this team. Just eliminated. I stared at the screen for a full minute, then two. Then I laughed. Not because it was funny, because sometimes your brain doesn't know what else to do when everything collapses at once. I packed my desk in silence. Nobody stopped me. Nobody asked if I was okay. That's when it hit me the first time. People love what you do for them, not who you are. I walked out at 11:03 a.m., box in my hands, 11 years in a cardboard square. But here's the part I didn't understand yet. That wasn't the worst part of my day. Not even close. I should have driven somewhere else. Anywhere else. But I didn't. I drove home. Because some part of me still believed home meant safety. I was wrong. The driveway was full. My mom's car, my younger brother Kyle's truck, and my aunt's SUV. That should have been my first clue. I walked in, and before I could even set my bag down, "Alina, is it true?" Kyle didn't even look up from his phone. No hey, no you good, just that. "Yeah," I said. "I got laid off." He shrugged. "Damn, that's crazy." Then he leaned back and said something that still rings in my ears. "So what happens with my rent now?" I blinked. I actually thought I heard him wrong. "Your what?" "My rent," he said like I was slow. "Lease is due next week." That's when my mom stepped in. "Elena, sit down. We need to talk." Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "How are you holding up?" No, a meeting. I sat. Because that's what I'd always done. Played my role. The responsible one. The fixer. The one who always had it handled. My mom folded her hands like she was about to discuss groceries. "You know Kyle's been trying to get back on his feet." Trying. That word did a lot of heavy lifting in our family. "He just needs a little more time. And with you not working right now..." There it was. I wasn't her daughter in that moment. I was a disrupted income stream. I looked at Kyle. "You quit your job 2 months ago." He rolled his eyes. It was toxic. I almost laughed again, because apparently only his stress mattered. Mine? Disposable. Let me rewind for a second, because none of this happened overnight. I didn't wake up one day and become the family bank. It started small. $200 here, $500 there. Helping felt good, made me feel needed. Important. But slowly, it changed. The asks got bigger. The gratitude got smaller. And somewhere along the way, helping turned into expectation. By 30, I was paying my mom's utilities, Kyle's rent, groceries, random emergencies that somehow happened every month. I never complained because I thought that's what love looks like. I thought if I just gave enough, they'd see me. They didn't. Back to that living room. "So what are you going to do?" my mom asked. "I'll figure it out," I said. And I meant it. Because here's the part they didn't know. I already had something in motion. Something big. But I hadn't told them. Not because I didn't trust them, but because they never asked. Not once. Not about my goals, not about my future. Just money. Always money. "Actually," my mom said, breaking my thoughts, "there's something else." Of course there was. "Kyle's been sleeping on the couch. It's not fair to him." I felt it before she said it. That slow, sinking feeling. "You're not home much anyway," she added. "I live here," I said. "You did," she corrected. That word. Did. Like I was already gone. "We think it makes more sense for Kyle to have your room." I stared at her. "You're asking me to move out?" "I'm asking you to understand." Kyle didn't even look up. Didn't say a word. Didn't defend me. Why would he? Everything in his life worked exactly the way it was. Because of me. I walked down the hallway. Opened my door. Half my stuff was already gone. Closet empty on one side. Drawers half cleared. They didn't wait. They didn't even pretend. My chest tightened. But I didn't cry. Not yet. My dad walked in behind me. Holding a box. Didn't say a word. Just started packing. Like I wasn't even there. "Dad," I said. Nothing. "Dad, look at me." His hands paused, but his eyes stayed down. "Your brother needs stability," he muttered. "And I don't?" I asked. "You'll be fine." There it was. The sentence that defined my entire life. You'll be fine. Because I always was. Which meant I always had to be. I carried my own boxes out. Past my family. Past the house I paid to keep running. Nobody followed me. Nobody stopped me. Nobody said, "Stay." I drove. Didn't know where. Didn't care. Pulled into a random gas station. Sat there. Hands shaking. And that's when it hit me for real. Not the job loss. Not the eviction. The truth. I wasn't loved. I was useful. And the moment I stopped being useful, I became replaceable. I picked up my phone. Called Marcus. My business partner. Yeah, that's the part they didn't know. "Elena," he answered. "I'm ready," I said. Pause. "Are you sure?" "No," I said, "but I'm done waiting." "Good," he said, "because we've been ready." See, for 2 years, I'd been building something. Late nights, early mornings, while everyone thought I was just working. I was building an agency. Small at first, but real. Clients, revenue, growth, a future. I just hadn't stepped into it yet, because I was too busy holding everyone else up. That night, I booked a one-way flight, packed what little I had left, and left. No goodbye, no explanation, because honestly, they didn't earn one. I thought that would be the hardest part, leaving. It wasn't. The hardest part was realizing how easy it was for them to let me go. For 14 days. No calls, no texts. Nothing. Not even, "Are you okay?" But the money. Oh, they noticed that. Is get loud. Not for you, for everyone who ignored you. 3 months after I walked out of that house with 2 cardboard boxes and no goodbye, my life didn't just stabilize. It leveled up. Hard. Sinclair and Whitmore wasn't just working anymore. It was moving. Fast. We doubled our client base. Then doubled it again. Small businesses started referring us like crazy. Restaurants, contractors, clinics, people who actually valued what we did. For the first time in my life, every dollar I earned stayed with me. No silent withdrawals, no invisible obligations, no Joanna will handle it. Just me. And let me tell you something. Peace hits different when you've never had it before. But here's the thing nobody tells you about growth. It doesn't stay private. Not forever. It started with a LinkedIn post. One picture, me, Greg, and the team, standing under the sign, Sinclair and Whitmore Financial Advisory. Simple caption, built from scratch, proud of this team. That's it. No drama, no backstory, no mention of the nights I cried in a gas station parking lot, no mention of the family that erased me. Just the result. 4 hours later, my phone started lighting up. First, a random message, "Wait, is this your company?" Then another, and then the name I hadn't seen in months. Mom. I didn't open it. Not right away, because something in me already knew. This wasn't a, "How are you?" This wasn't love. This was discovery. When I finally opened it, it said, "Why didn't you tell us you started a business?" No hi, no "Are you okay?" Just confusion that I had a life they didn't know about. I stared at that message for a long time, because that question, it had an answer, a very simple one, but I didn't send it. Not yet. That night, Aunt Patty called. "Your mom saw your post," she said. I leaned back on my couch. Yeah, I figured. Patty sighed. "Joanna, it got quiet, like real quiet. Then your mom said," she paused. "What?" She said, "So that's where the money went." I laughed. Actually laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was so perfectly predictable. After everything, after 15 years of carrying them, after losing my job, my room, my place in that house, they still thought the story was about money. But it didn't stop there, because once people realize you're doing well, they don't just watch, they move. 2 weeks later, Greg walked into my office. "There's someone here asking for you." "Client?" He hesitated. "No." I knew, before he even said it. I walked out into the lobby, and there they were, all 3 of them. My mother, my sister, my father, standing in a space they never thought I'd have. My mom looked around like she'd stepped into someone else's life. Glass walls, clean desks, people moving with purpose. My name on the door. She turned to me, "Joanna," like nothing had happened, like I hadn't been gone, like she hadn't erased me from her house in a single afternoon. I didn't hug her. I didn't smile. I just stood there. "Why are you here?" Direct. Clean. No emotion. Megan crossed her arms. "So this is what you've been doing." I didn't answer, because she wasn't asking. She was accusing. My mom stepped forward. "We need to talk." "No," I said. "This is my workplace. If you have something to say it here." People were watching now. Quietly, professionally, but watching. She lowered her voice. "This isn't appropriate." I tilted my head. "You packed my things in front of neighbors. That felt appropriate to you." Silence. Sharp. Immediate. My father shifted his weight. Didn't speak. Same as always. Megan jumped in. "You cut us off like we're nothing, and all this time you had money?" There it was. Always comes back to that. I stepped closer. Not aggressive. Loud. Just steady. "I didn't have money," I said. "I built something. And you didn't even know, because you never once asked about my life." My mom's face tightened. "We're your family." "And I was your provider," I replied, "not your daughter." That hit. I saw it land. But instead of reflection, she deflected. "We did what we had to do. Megan needed space." "No," I cut in. "You did what was easiest. You chose the child who demanded over the one who delivered." Megan scoffed. "Oh, please, you always act like some victim." I smiled. Small. Controlled. "No," I said. "I stopped being one." The room was dead silent now. Even the air felt heavy. Then my father spoke. Soft, barely above a whisper. "You should have told us." I looked at him. Really looked. Would it have mattered? He didn't answer, because we both knew the truth. My mom tried one last time. We didn't know you were struggling." I laughed. Not loud, but enough. I wasn't struggling. I was funding your entire life. That was it. That was the moment everything cracked. Because for the first time, they weren't in control of the narrative. I was. I stepped back. "This conversation is over." My mom's voice sharpened. "You're really going to do this? Just walk away from your family?" I met her eyes. Calm. Grounded. "No," I said. "I already did." And then I turned, walked back into my office, closed the door, and didn't look back. They left 10 minutes later. I know because Greg came in. "They're gone." I nodded. "Good." That night, I didn't cry. I didn't second guess. I didn't replay the conversation, because something inside me had finally clicked into place. Closure doesn't come from them understanding. It comes from you not needing them to. Weeks passed, then months, and here's where it gets real. Because life doesn't pause after confrontation, it keeps moving. My company kept growing. We expanded offices, hired more people, signed bigger clients. I wasn't just stable anymore. I was thriving. Meanwhile, back in that house on Birch Lane, reality hit. Hard. Without my payments, the cracks showed fast. Mortgage overdue, bills stacking, pressure building. My mom had to take in a renter, a stranger, living in the house I paid for. Megan lost the car, repossessed, just like that, because responsibility doesn't care about entitlement. And my dad, he called me one night, late, quiet. "I'm sorry." No excuses, no explanation, just that. And you know what? That was the first real thing I'd heard from him in years. I didn't rush back, didn't offer money, didn't fix anything, because that version of me, she doesn't exist anymore. But I listened, and sometimes that's enough to start something new. Not the same, never the same, but something honest. My mom called too, eventually, her voice different, softer. "I made a mistake." That's all she said. And for once, I believed her. But here's the truth nobody likes to say out loud. An apology doesn't rebuild access. It just opens the door. What happens after that depends on actions, not words. Megan texted me once, a long message, said she was sorry, said she didn't realize, said she wants to fix things, and then, at the very end, "Can you help me out a little?" I didn't reply, because some patterns don't break overnight. But I did hear something later, from Patty. Megan got a job, kept it, paid her own bills, for the first time. And that matters. Not because it fixes the past, but because it changes the future. Now, here I am, sitting in my office, my name on the wall, my company growing, my life, mine. And that photo, the one my mom took down, the one my dad packed into a box, it's on my desk now, front and center, not as a reminder of them, but as a reminder of me. Because I didn't lose everything that night. I lost the illusion. And what I built after, that's real. So if you're watching this, and you're the one holding everything together, the one paying, the one fixing, the one everyone depends on but nobody checks on, hear me clearly. You are not selfish for stopping. You are not wrong for choosing yourself. And you are not responsible for carrying people who wouldn't even notice if you disappeared. Because the moment you stop being useful to them is the moment you find out who actually values you. And yeah, that truth hurts, but it also sets you free. My name is Joanna Sinclair, and I finally learned being fine for everyone else was costing me everything. Not anymore.